Howdy, everyone. Um, I recently put a poll out on my community tab, and I asked if there was. I gave different suggestions about what I should make for the next video because I wasn't sure. I had a few ideas, and I thought I'd give people the opportunity or the option to see what people wanted to watch. And the one that won the poll was a video about me. So that's what I'm gonna try to do today. I'm the type of person where I don't usually like to talk about myself. I just I've never been a big person where I talk about myself very much. It's yeah um, yeah. So my name's David. Hi. If you don't know my real name, my name's David. I go by Animal Boy on YouTube. Um, it's the name I picked. That name, Animal Boy, can confuse some people sometimes because Animal Boy, the full name is Animal Boy 2000. Um, and that originated in when I was in fifth grade uh, because I made a username on a video game and I was always the animal boy. So I put Animal Boy and I felt it was missing something, so I put a number after it. It was originally Animal Boy 200, but then I thought that sounded weird, so I just added an extra zero. It's kind of as simple as that. It's nothing special. A lot of people, when my name popped up as Animal Boy 2000, a lot of people thought 2000 was my birth year. No, I am 20 years old. I turned 20 I was born December 1st, 2005, here in central Illinois. I won't say the exact city because I would like to keep that information private. I don't need people trying to find me. If I run into somebody in this town and they recognize me, then that would be awesome. I assume, assuming they weren't, crazy. There's plenty of crazy people in this town. But yeah, I was born and raised here in Illinois. Um, uh, so I was born when my mother was 19, and she was still living with my grandparents. So when I was little, I was raised here. This is my grandparents' house that I am right now, that I'm at right now. And I was raised primarily by my grandparents because when my mom moved out, this was always my home, and I would always get stressed out being in her new place, so I just stayed here. Um, and I've lived here ever since. I see my mom all the time. I go stay at her house now regularly. Um, yeah, I have a very good relationship with my mom. And I'm my mother is the person I take the most after in my life. Looks, attitude, thought process. Me and my mom are one and the same in a lot of different aspects. Um, but I I'm not going to get into my father in this video because it's just not going to end up going well. I would like to stay in a good mood. But a lot of people ask me where my love of animals came from, and there's a couple different answers that I've given over the years. And mainly it's just I've always been interested in animals, always wanted to study animals, always wanted to watch animal documentaries since I've been watching animal documentaries since I was 3 years old. Um, People like Steve Irwin, Jack Hanna, a few different um, people in the animal field. Like I mentioned, Steve Irwin, Jack Hanna, Simon King, Jonathan Scott. Um, I grew up watching um, a lot of different documentaries about animals. Chris and Martin Kratt from Zibumafu and the Wildcrats, those different kid shows is what got me into starting eating what? Started watching and studying animals was just a passion of mine since I can remember. I was always, as a kid, running around on all fours, making animal sounds. I was always interested in animals, and basically for the longest time wanting to be an animal pretty much when I was younger. Um, yeah, a lot of that comes from just being just who I am, but also my family. And we've always had pets growing up. We have dogs. I now have a snake. My cousin has a bird, who's the devil. But we've always had animals. We've always welcomed animals into our homes and into our families. Um, and that also extends to, like I said earlier, my mom. My mom is a dog groomer. She runs her own business here in town. Um, and she's always had animals. She had a couple bearded dragons when I was little. She's had parakeets. She had, it's a funny story. My aunt also had a bearded dragon, and she fed her bearded dragon baby mice, and one of the mouse got out, and it scared the heck out of my mom, and they didn't know what to do with it, and they just looked over at me. I can't remember how old I was, maybe like 5, maybe? I don't know exactly how old I was, but it came over to me like, Evan, you want a mouse? I was like, I want a mouse. And so that mouse became mine while I was 5. I didn't know how to take care of a mouse. So basically it became my mom's thing to look after. But I gave that mouse a very original name and very clever name for a 5-year-old. I named the mouse Mousy. I was a weird kid. Yeah, my mom worked at a pet store. My mom's been around animals and has been interested in animals much like I have. My mom's held cockroaches. My mom's held snakes. My mom's fed snakes. My mom has held birds. There's a picture on her phone somewhere of her holding a baby fox. There's a picture of her having a chameleon on her head. Um, yeah, me and my mom are very animal-centered people. Of course, my mom has dogs, as you've seen. There's a picture of a video of Bruce and Odyssey on my channel. That video of Bruce and Odyssey on my channel is actually the night of Bruce coming home with us. That was their first real spending time together extensively, was that night. Yeah. But like I said, I spent most of my time growing up with my grandparents here at this house. And we would always go on vacation. We would go out to Seattle. But we've gone to places like Nashville, Pigeon Forge, Branson, Missouri. We've gone down to Florida several times. A place we like to visit when we're in Florida is Lion Country Safari. We've been there many times now. We went on a trip to Arizona a few years ago. Saw the Grand Canyon, got sunburned. That sunburn sucked. Basically, what happened was I got sunburned even with sunscreen and everything. Thank goodness my uncle had got like an aloe vera rub to rub on my sunburn because it was agony. It was like a patchwork of red along my back. But I was stuck with a sunburn. And the very last day that we flew home, was the sunburn had cleared up mostly, except for right on the top of my shoulders. And I had to walk around an airport with sunburnt, skin flaking shoulders with a heavy backpack on. Not fun. Not recommended. I wouldn't recommend that for anybody. Yeah. Yeah. I was always a wild kid, going out into the woods, climbing trees. When I was little, I had these pair of pointed-toed black cowboy boots that I would climb trees in. I've probably climbed and fallen out of more trees than I can count. I grew up getting hurt, getting cuts and scrapes. I've got a scar above my eye. I've also had a pencil almost go through my hand. Like the pencil went about maybe that much into my hand. But yeah, just I grew up getting hurt. I don't know if you want the story of this scar. I've got scars everywhere pretty much. Just grew up getting hurt, little cuts and scrapes that just don't leave. So I've got quite a bit, but yeah, um, yeah. It's been an interesting childhood of mine. Um, I've got a very close relationship with my brother. Me and my brother are very close. We pick on each other and mess with each other all the time. But I'm the only one who's allowed to mess with him. No one else can mess with him. No. So if they do, they gotta go through me. You know, I took some martial arts when I was younger in and elementary and middle school, through middle school, and just mainly just to build confidence at the time. I didn't stay and get any advanced in anything, so I'm not like a trained assassin or anything like that. But yeah, just you know, I don't know. I yeah, yeah. Like I said, I don't usually like to talk about myself very much. Just just how I am. Uh, I've always I am on the on the autism spectrum. I have what's called Asperger's. I also have ADHD and sensory processing disorder, um, which means I'm hypersensitive to sensory things, sounds, bright lights, um, tastes. I'm a very picky eater because of that. Also, high pitched sounds are just like deafening to me. Um, yeah, so I grew up going through different things with trying to deal with being a little sporadic autistic kid. I'm not looking for sympathy from anybody. It's not. I'm not telling a sob story here. I'm not looking for anybody's sympathy, and certainly no "woe is me" type thing. That's not what I'm about. Um, I've just we all have challenges. Every one of us. Everyone has different challenges and different specialities that they have in their life. I am scatterbrained and a bit uncoordinated, but on the other hand, I have a fondness for animals and I'm cracking memory with animals. Um, Another thing that helped with my sensory thing was a lot growing up were fidgets, little fidget toys. I still have one. This is a little toy iguana that I flip back and forth. It just kind of helps me regain focus and just gives me something to do. Um, you'll sometimes see me fiddling with my fingers and just like doing little fidget things, tapping like whatever. Um, you know, I can. I hope in my videos my tendency to get scatterbrained, like I notice I've done it throughout this talking, just about myself. I get off on different tangents. I hope that's not off-putting to anybody. Um, but I just, uh, you know, a lot of just I find uh, it's just hard for me to talk about myself without talking about people I care about. Like I attribute who I am as a person to people around me who raised me, who have been around, um, both people and animals. Like you learn so much from watching others, and who we are as people can be reflected from those around us. Like I'm, it's not just, yeah, it's, I have a hard time putting stuff into words sometimes with what I want to say. I hope things come across well, but yeah, I'm not the best with words most of the time. I try to mean what I say, and I try to always be honest. I am always honest to a fault and loyal to a fault. I'm I don't like to lie. I don't like to lie, and I don't like liars. I'm very straightforward, and that can often come across as very critical and blunt of me. I can sometimes come across like that, just being a very logistical person and less of an emotional person. Yeah, yeah, I've been called cold and different things by different people, and it can sometimes be off-putting when I say something with the wrong inflection and put someone off of what I'm saying. But I never intend to do that, and when I do, it's definitely noticeable. Like there's always times where we have those moments where we can sound harsh. Sometimes it's meant, but with me, usually if I sound harsh or condescending or just very blunt and emotionless, it can come across that way to people sometimes. Yeah, it's just it. Human interaction is a bit difficult for me sometimes. Like at Meet the Morrows, when I was at the Meet the Morrows talking to people, it was a little difficult talking with people because I didn't want to say anything wrong, especially with Lester. When I did the interview, I didn't want to say anything wrong or just say something and it be taken wrong by somebody, because the last thing I wanted was to come across as disrespectful or anything like that. It's just how I talk and how I am around people. Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm just me. It's it's I hope this video doesn't end up being too long and people don't watch, because it's already after 17 minutes long. But this is just a video introducing me and who I am and what I'm about, because I know a lot of people wanted to get to know me a little bit more than just a face on the internet. It's a little awkward just talking to a phone, really. I'm usually better when I have someone to converse with back and forth than I am to talk to a camera, because I'm just not used to doing that, like what Lester and Jamie and a whole host of different YouTubers are. But yeah, I hope this has given people some insight into who I am as a person, and just get to know me a little bit better. If you want to know more about me, I'm always happy to talk to people and reply to comments if I can. But yeah. And if you want me to talk about something else, go into stories. I have a whole host of different stories I could go into in different videos, things that have happened in my life, scars and different experiences, different things I've seen with animals, animal information, and animal behavior is something I've researched and done extensively all my life. Yeah. And I'm not currently, some people have asked if I'm in college. I'm not currently enrolled anywhere. I would like to go into something that has to do with animal science or animal husbandry or something along those lines. I've also thought about trades, different trades I could go into, but I don't know. Right now, I'm just living my life. All right, I hope this has given people some insight into who I am as a person. And this video's gone on long enough. If you want me to continue more and start telling more of my stories, let me know, and I'll do that. Have a good day.